The 2-2. Popped up. Sandoval in foul territory. Giants win.
0-2. He's done it.
Alright guys, and welcome back to the Rivalry Sports Talk. Today we are going to be breaking down the AL Central. And if you missed it, we broke down the AL East in our last video, so go check that out and then come back here. Alright, so once again, we're going to break down, we're going to start from the team that ended last in the division, and we're going to work our way back up. And with that, we start with the Detroit Tigers.
Alright, so the Detroit Tigers finished dead last season with a 74-87 record, and that's their worst record since 2003, which was terrible, 43-119. So bad. But they did good this offseason. They got Justin Upton, but this season coming up, how do you think they will do?
I actually think they're going to do really well. I mean, they added Justin Upton. They also added Jordan Zimmerman. They traded for Justin Wilson. I think the Tigers are going to do fine. If they can stay healthy, the only concern I have for them is their lineup's extremely right-handed. So
yes.
How's that going to fare? But that's to be, who knows?
Yes, I agree with you, but I also differ on I think pitching is just going to be the downfall for them. Yeah. They really need Verlander to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And if they don't, that's just going to be bad.
It's going to be killer. Yeah, exactly. But and then we move on to the Chicago White Sox.
Alright, so the Chicago White Sox ended in 4th place last year in the AL Central with a 76-86 record. And basically, the two guys that helped them out most were Chris Sale and Adam Eaton.
Yeah. But
they have so many other guys that look good on paper, but on the field didn't look so good.
Yeah, and I mean, Abreu, and with the additions of Todd Frazier and Brad Lowry, it's hard to say. I think it's going to once again be one of those teams that just try to assemble great talent and hopefully make a run for the postseason. I'm not sure how they're going to do. I think they will definitely do better than last year. Mm-hmm. But it'll be interesting to see how all those guys gel especially after losing some Margin too. Which, I mean, I had an off year, but he was still a key part in that rotation.
I agree. So that brings us to the Cleveland Indians. So the Indians ending in 3rd place in the AL Central with an 81-80 record. Yes, that's right. They only had 161 games last year. 1 game was canceled. And I believe they will have a good season this year with the former Cy Young Corey Kluber for Corey Kluber. And the runner-up to the Rookie of the Year in AL, you got Lindor there. And I think the team is growing. I think they're getting better. So I believe they're going to have a good season.
Yeah, I do too. I really like the Indians, especially with Kluber and Carrasco leading that rotation. They have one thing a lot of teams don't have: club-controlled starting rotation, which is very valuable. So I do like the Indians. I think if they didn't have that little slump right in the beginning of the season last year, they would have made the playoffs. But I think they're going to have a good year this year. I'm actually quite high on the Cleveland Indians this year.
I agree. So now that we just talked about the Cleveland Indians, we are going to move on to the Minnesota Twins. Alright, so the Minnesota Twins in the 2015 season, they ended with an 83-79 record, which put them in 2nd place in their division. And what I didn't realize is that they haven't made the playoffs since 2010, which was also the last time they won their division. So, Frank, do you think they can end up in 2nd place again?
No, I'm not high on the Twins this year. They did lose. Is it Rosary Davis?
I believe so.
Yeah, they lost Rosary Davis. I mean, he's not a big part, but just his leadership in the clubhouse. I don't know. I'm not high on the Twins this year. More than likely, they're going to prove me wrong and somehow get into the postseason. But they do overall have a great club. They just signed that Korean dude also for about 4 years. So it'll be interesting to see how the Twins do this season.
I agree with you. I don't believe they'll win they won't win, but I don't believe they'll get second place again. But like you said, I hope they prove us both wrong.
Yeah.
So Twins, prove us wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
We move on to the World Series champions, the Kansas City Royals. All right, the champions, the Kansas City Royals, ending the season with a 95-67 record. They beat the Mets 4-1 in the series, and I like the Royals. They have such an unstoppable young team.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously they lost Zobrist.
Yes.
They re-signed Alex Gordon, which I think that was a big key spot, especially after losing Zobrist. They also did lose Johnny Cueto, which gave him a good game in the game. I want to say 2 in the World Series, but they signed Ian Kennedy. And one thing about the Royals, they pretty much said to hell with the starting rotation as far as getting big names. They bolster up that bullpen. And they're banking that they can score about 4 or 5 runs to win ball games, and I don't blame them because that's one hell of a good offense right there.
Yeah, and you got Hosmer, you got Moustakas, you got Salvador Perez. I mean, those are guys that came up with the Royals.
Yeah, and then they believe in Edison Volquez.
Yes.
And obviously they believe in Ian Kennedy. They gave him, I want to say, 4 years, $70 million.
No!
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty crazy. So, but I do think the Royals, they're going to have another outstanding year. Their window is closing, but it won't be for another 2 or 3 years.
I agree.
So, but overall, I think Royals will be perfectly fine this year.
All right, so that concludes the AL Central
As far as breakdowns go.
as far as breakdowns go. But you know what time it is. It's prediction time! Yes, it is prediction time. So remember in the last episode, if you watched it, Frank and I have turned this into a game.
And quick little recap rules: if we got the team finished in the right spot, it's gonna be 1 point. If we get a playoff team right, it's gonna be 2 points. And if we get the division winner right, it's gonna be 3 points. And we're gonna tally it up with all 6 divisions, and we're gonna see who wins at the very end.
Yes.
All right, guys, I'm gonna start it off first this time. And in 5th place, I have the Twins. Now, I know a lot of you people are going to think I'm crazy because they were just in 2nd place last year. It's not a knock on the Twins. I just really think the other team improved that much. And in 4th place, I do have the White Sox. Adding Todd Frazier, adding Brett Lowry, Chris Sale at the top of the rotation, Abreu, and I just think they're going to be able to produce a lot more runs. It's going to really help out that starting rotation. And in 3rd place, a team I really do like a lot, I have the Cleveland Indians. And the Indians, I mean, like I said, their starting rotation is a force to be reckoned with. I'm really high on the Indians with all the moves they've made and whatnot. And in 2nd place, I have the Detroit Tigers. I think the addition of Jordan Zimmerman to lead off that rotation. Justin Wilson coming over from the Yanks to bolster up that bullpen. And with the addition of Justin Upton coming also, I think that their lineup now is one of the best in the whole MLB as far as hitting wise. The question is the right-handedness going to affect them later on. And at the top, I can't knock the Kansas City Royals, World Series champions. They signed Ian Kennedy. They did lose Cueto, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal for them. They produce runs like nobody else. But other than that, guys, I think that's my list: Twins, White Sox, Indians, Tigers, and the Royals.
Well, Frank, you and I have a very different AL Central. It's pretty mixed up. So here's my prediction. Last place, I have the Chicago White Sox. I believe they just won't have a good season. Yeah, they look good on paper, but I really don't think they have what it takes to be anywhere else. So in 4th place, I have the Detroit Tigers. I like Upton. I like Miguel Cabrera. I like everybody on their team, but I really think their pitching isn't quite there yet to be the team that they used to be like in 2012. In 3rd place, I have the Twins. Yes, they finished 2nd place last year, but I really don't think they'll be that team again. They could have a better record, but I believe the next 2 teams are going to have a better record than them. So in 2nd place, which is a team I really like to favor, are the Cleveland Indians. Like I said, Corey Kluber, the former Cy Young, and then you got the rookie Lindor, I believe they're just getting better and better, and they're going to be a great team. But the team that I have in the number 1 spot, just like Frank, are the champions, the Kansas City Royals. That team is just unstoppable. They have the pitching rotation. They have the batting lineup. And like I said, they have homegrown players that they're like Perez and Hosmer. I think they love the Royals and they love Kansas City and they love their fans. So I think they're going to have another great season. So that's our prediction. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We just broke down the AL Central for you, and we gave you our predictions of the AL Central. And on our next episode, we will be doing the AL West. So please please subscribe. If you have anything to say, if you think we're right or you think we're way off, please say something. And always respect the rivalry. We'll talk to you later. And their last playoff appearance was in 2010, and that's also when they last won their division. So
I'm sorry, I can't do it.
The cat,
Fucking cat.
Fucking cat.
I'm sorry, I can't do it.
That's fine.
Fucking cat, man.